The hardest sabr you will ever need has nothing to do with pain. Every Muslim knows about sabr in calamity, loss, illness, failure, rejection. But there's a second sabr, the one nobody teaches. The one you need when you know what's right and still want what's wrong. That's where iman actually breaks. Not in tragedy, in desire. This moment, knowing the right thing and choosing the wrong one anyway, this is where character gets decided, where your future gets shaped, where most young Muslims are losing silently. The scholars knew this. They addressed it. We just stopped teaching it. Because this sabr requires something different. It's not about accepting what you can't control. It's about controlling what you can. It's about saying no to something you want. About choosing yourself when everything in you is screaming to choose something else. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly how to build this sabr. Before the moment hits, before the temptation arrives, before you're standing there alone with a choice. Because once you understand this, everything changes. There are two completely different kinds of sabr, and they require completely different things from you. The first kind, everyone knows this one. Something bad happens, a door closes, a person leaves, an illness hits, a dream dies. You didn't choose this, it happened to you. So you accept it, you be patient, you turn to Allah. This sabr is real, it's necessary, it's important. But it has one advantage you need to understand. When bad things happen, you have an excuse. This wasn't my choice. This was Allah's will. What could I do? You can blame circumstances, you can blame fate, you can blame anyone but yourself. Then there's the second kind of sabr. This one is different. This one is harder. You see something you want. Your body wants it. Your friends are doing it. The person is willing. Your phone is right there. Everything is available. And you have the power to take it, but you say no anyway. This sabr has no excuse. You know the choice. You feel the desire. You understand what's right, and you choose differently, on purpose, by yourself. One sabr happens to you, the other happens through you. This is the sabr that builds character. Because when something is forced on you, you have no choice but to accept it. But when you have the choice and you choose right anyway, that reveals who you actually are. The first teaches you to accept what you can't control. The second teaches you to control what you can. To be someone you actually respect. Most Islamic teaching focuses on the first kind. We talk about patience in hardship. We talk about accepting Allah's will. These things matter, but your generation is being tested by the second kind. Every single day, in moments when you're alone, when everything is available, when choosing right means choosing hard, and almost nobody is teaching you how. Passive sabr teaches acceptance. Active sabr teaches who you actually are. When something bad happens to you, a loss, an illness, rejection, at least you know it's bad. You didn't want it, you're forced to accept it, your brain understands, this is not my choice. This is happening to me. So you be patient. You make dua. You accept. But when you want something, when it's available, when nobody would know if you took it, that's completely different. Your brain is screaming for it. Your friends are doing it. Your phone is right there. The girl is interested. The boy is interested. The money is there. The haram is one click away. Everything you want is within reach. And now you have to say no. Not because you're forced, because you choose to. This is harder than any calamity. With calamity, you can blame circumstances. You can say, this wasn't my fault, this was out of my control. But with this, you have to take full responsibility. You could have done it. You chose not to. that's on you. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said something powerful about this. He said, the strongest person is not the one who defeats others in battle. The strongest person is the one who controls themselves when angry, when tempted, when faced with desire. He didn't say the strongest person is the one who suffers patiently. He said the one who controls themselves, who restrains themselves, who says no when they want to say yes. That's what makes this sabr so hard and so powerful. Because with calamity, your character isn't really being tested. You have no choice. But with desire, when you're alone, when you have the power, when nobody would know, that's when your character actually gets revealed. Every time you choose right when you want wrong, you're literally rebuilding yourself. You're not just enduring something, you're creating someone. And that someone is the person you actually want to be. Sabir in calamity teaches acceptance. Sabir in choice teaches who you are. Most people think character gets decided in big moments, in crises, in public situations, when everyone is watching. That's wrong. Character gets decided in small moments, in private situations, when nobody's watching and you have the power. Think about it. A person says they love Allah, they say they want to be good, they say they're trying to change, but then they continue in haram. They keep doing wrong. They know what's right and they choose wrong anyway. This person isn't building character, they're building a lie. Because integrity isn't about what you claim, it's about what you do when nobody's checking, when nobody's holding you accountable. When you could do wrong and get away with it and you don't, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said something that changes everything. He said, Allah doesn't look at your appearance, doesn't look at your wealth, doesn't look at how good you look in public. Allah looks at your hearts and your actions. Not your intentions, not your feelings, your actual actions. The things you do, the choices you make. And your actions in the moments when you're completely alone, those reveal who you actually are, not who you pretend to be, not who you want people to think you are, who you actually are. A person with sabr in these private moments is building something real, building integrity, building self-respect, building a self they can actually look in the mirror and respect. But a person without sabr, someone who keeps choosing wrong even though they know it's wrong, they're slowly becoming someone they can't respect, someone divided, someone living a lie. And that division destroys you from the inside. This is why your daily sabr matters so much. It's not about following rules. It's about becoming the person you actually want to be. Every single choice is a vote for that person. Your character isn't revealed in big moments. It's decided in small ones when nobody's watching. You think the cost of giving in is just the moment itself, just the sin, just the action. In and out, it's over. But it's not. When you give in to something you know is wrong, something happens inside you. A part of you knows you betrayed yourself. And that knowledge doesn't go away. It sits with you. Maybe it's a relationship you know is haram. At first it feels good. But then you notice something. You can't trust this person because you know how you started. You both chose haram together. So how can you trust them? If they did that with you, they'll do it to you. This is what Allah was warning about. Don't come near haram. Don't get close to it. Because the pathway leads somewhere broken. When you keep giving in, your conscience starts hardening. You need more and more to feel the same rush. The guilt gets quieter and you become someone you don't even recognize. But the worst part isn't the physical consequences. It's not the STDs or the broken hearts or the damaged families. Those are real. Mental illness is rising among young people because of this exact thing. The worst part is the shame. deep internal shame that no amount of surface happiness covers. Because you're divided. Half of you knows what's right, half of you is doing wrong. And that division destroys your peace from the inside. You become anxious, depressed, comparing yourself to others, desperate for validation from anyone who will give it to you, because you don't respect yourself anymore. And here's what's terrifying. You lose trust in yourself. You know you can't keep your own word. You know you'll compromise. You know you'll choose wrong again. So you can't trust yourself. And if you can't trust yourself, who can you trust? Without self-respect, nothing else matters. Not the followers, not the validation, not the temporary pleasure, nothing. Every time you choose wrong when you know it's right, you're teaching yourself you can't trust yourself. Nobody talks about this. What actually happens when you say no? The first thing is immediate. You feel different. There's a peace that comes with knowing you chose right. Not because you're perfect, but because you're honest. With yourself, with Allah, with who you want to be. This feeling is integrity. And it's the foundation of self-respect. Self-respect is the most valuable thing you can have. More than friends, more than followers, more than validation from anyone. Because when you respect yourself, you can handle anything. When you say no to something you want, something shifts in your mind. You realize something powerful. You have control. You're not a victim of your desires. You're not controlled by what's available. You're the one making the decision. This power is addictive in the best way. Every time you choose right, you become more capable of choosing right again. Your brain literally rewires. Your neural pathways strengthen. Your willpower doesn't decrease, it increases. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said something practical about this. Whatever you leave for the sake of Allah, Allah will replace it with something better. This isn't poetry, this is real. When you say no to haram, doors open for halal. You're free from the anxiety of being caught, free from the shame of being divided, free from people manipulating you because they know you'll say yes. You're free to build something real. A relationship based on halal, friendships based on actual good, a life you can look at and respect, and people notice. The strong ones respect you immediately. The weak ones might leave, but you'll be surrounded by people who actually matter. People who don't need you to compromise to feel comfortable with themselves. You're free. And freedom feels like peace. This is the hidden reward. Not waiting for the hereafter. Right here, right now. The freedom and peace that comes from being honest with yourself. From knowing you can trust yourself. Because you proved it. Every time you choose right when it's hard, you're teaching yourself you can trust yourself. You're not going to say no once and suddenly become a different person. That's not how this works. But every single choice you make is a brick. You're building something, wall by wall, choice by choice. One day you say no to something you want, it feels hard, almost impossible. Your whole body wants to say yes, but you say no, and you do it. You actually do it. The next time, it's slightly easier. Not because the desire is gone, but because you know something now, you can choose differently. You've done it before, you'll do it again. After a week of choosing right, something shifts inside you. You start to believe in yourself. Small shifts, but real ones. After a month, people start noticing there's something different about you. A quietness. A confidence that doesn't need external validation. You stop seeking approval because you already approve of yourself. After a year, you realize you're a completely different person. Not because you're perfect, but because you've been consistent. The Quran talks about istiqamah, standing straight on the path. Not perfectly, not without struggle, but consistently, again and again, day after day, choice after choice. This is what your daily sabr does. It's not about being perfect once. It's about choosing right again and again until it becomes who you are. Until it's not a struggle anymore, it's just you. You become someone who keeps their word. Someone who respects their own boundaries. Someone who doesn't compromise themselves for temporary pleasure. This kind of person attracts different people. Good people, strong people, people who respect you because you respect yourself. And the best part, you actually like yourself. You respect the person you've become. This is real identity. Not what you claim to be, not the image you project, but who you actually are through consistent choices, through daily decisions, through choosing right when it's hard. Your daily sabr is building this identity every single day, brick by brick. And one day you'll realize you've built someone you're proud of. You don't build character in big moments. You build it in small choices, repeated consistently. When you build sabr in your daily life, something unexpected happens. You develop powers that seem almost supernatural. Power 1, freedom from comparison. Most young people are drowning in comparison. Everyone else is doing better, living more, experiencing more, getting validation, getting attention. But when you have sabr, you're freed from this trap. Because you know you're building something real. You're not chasing what everyone else is chasing. You're playing a different game, a longer game. A game where character beats clout every single time. While everyone else is anxious about what they're missing, you're at peace knowing what you're building. Power 2, clarity about what you actually want. When you stop giving in to every impulse, something shifts. You start seeing clearly what you actually want versus what you think you should want. Most of the things you were chasing were just distractions, designed to hook you, to keep you scrolling, to keep you distracted from what actually matters. But the things you really want, a real relationship, real friendships, real purpose, those require sabr to build. And now you can see the path to them. Now you know what it takes. Power 3, the respect of people who matter. Not everyone will respect your choices. The weak ones will leave. The people trying to pull you down will stop trying. Let them go. But the strong ones, the real ones, they will see you and respect you immediately. Because there's something magnetic about a person who knows who they are and won't compromise. These people become your real friends, your real community, the people who actually have your back. Not because you're useful to them, but because they respect you. These 3 powers, freedom, clarity, respect, are worth more than any temporary pleasure, more than any validation, more than fitting in. This is what sabr builds. Not just a moral life, a powerful life, a free life, a life you actually want to live. Sabr isn't restriction. It's the key that unlocks the life you actually want. You came here thinking sabr is about patience and suffering. And it is. But the real sabr, the sabr that's shaping your life right now, is about choosing right when you want wrong. About saying no to what feels good to protect who you want to be. About building your character in the moments nobody's watching. This sabr is harder than any calamity. And it's the only thing that actually matters. Because your life isn't being decided by what happens to you. It's being decided by what you do when you have the choice. By what you choose when nobody's checking. By whether you can trust yourself to keep your own word. This is where your iman is either growing or breaking. In these moments, in these choices, in this sabr. Oh Allah, give us the strength to choose right when choosing wrong feels so easy. Give us sabr over our desires, sabr against